Imagine a world where you inspire others through your amazing words because you are such an awesome speaker. Now, imagine that you are a professional motivational speaker. How cool would that be? I believe that there are so many people out there, and if you're watching this video that you want to figure out for yourself how to become a motivational speaker, I'm here to help you. My name is Jason Hewlett. For the last, 2 decades plus, I have been making a living as a motivational speaker as well as an entertainer, and so I'm excited to teach you more about how you can do that for yourself. Let's talk about the power of motivational speaking. You know, it's not just about the words that you say, it's also about the way that you make an audience feel. You're initiating change inside of their bodies, inside of their minds and their hearts to give them something to believe in themselves. They've never seen themselves in the way that they will after they hear you speak. If you believe that you have that in yourself, well, then you're in the right place. I remember the first time I came off stage and somebody said to me, it wasn't just the words you said, but how you made me feel that made the difference for me today. And you can imagine how it feels when somebody looks at you and says, gosh, I think I'm different now because I just listened to your speech. Whether it's telling your story, maybe giving some points or some anecdotes as to how they can improve their lives. I know that when a kid came up to me and said that I had changed their life in a speech, I was like, I'm hooked. This is amazing. Not only is it awesome to see kids come up to you and talk, because a lot of motivational speakers start in the youth market and they have a lot of kids that come up and want to be like them and learn more about what they can do in their own lives. It's also amazing to see when adults can change, because a professional in the workspace that's an adult that's gone through the challenges of life, those are people that have a harder time changing. But if you as a motivational speaker can reach inside their soul and help them to shift something, oh wow, there's nothing like it in your life. I remember a man came up to me after a presentation one time, and I thought that I did okay during the speech. The people laughed and clapped. I got a standing ovation, so that's always good. But this man came up to me afterwards and he said, what you talked about with making and keeping promises to myself, I'm an alcoholic and I've never told anybody that. I'm going to go tell my boss and I'm going to ask if they'll support me as I go into rehab. And I was like, whoa, that's an amazing shift and change. It was incredible to receive a message from that man many months later that said, my life has been changed. I've gotten a hold of this. Thank you for teaching me through your motivation. I'm so grateful for that opportunity. And that's part of what it is for being a motivational speaker. You can help initiate change for somebody. Can life get better? I don't think so. Well, let's talk about some overlooked motivational speakers. You've heard about all these really popular ones, right? Like Mel Robbins, who's a dear friend of mine. She's just exploded over the last few years with her 5-second rule. Or Tony Robbins, no relation to Mel. Tony Robbins is the guy that we've seen since the 80s, telling everyone about how to live their greatest life. You've got people like Gary Vee and Brene Brown. There's so many greats out there. But what about the unknown speakers or the lesser known speakers that are actually making a really nice living in the corporate market, speaking to associations, big groups, and niche markets? There are some people that I really admire that actually live locally near me. I live in Utah, and these speakers are people that I associate with quite a bit. And I'm just so proud of them. I wanted to share them with you so you can look them up. For example, one of my friends, her name is Cheryl Knowlton. Go check out Cheryl because she started in the real estate industry. And I want you to take a page out of her book, if you will, because think about it. Whatever industry you're in right now, you can take the expertise you've learned from that industry and turn it into your motivational speaking. That's what's so cool about what Cheryl's done. She was a trainer for real estate agents and helping people through her courses that she was creating. And then she realized, hey, I'm pretty good at speaking, right? They would hire her for associations and other big events. And so next thing she knows, she's a motivational speaker. Now she's actually teaching speakers how to speak and transition from their expertise into being that person that's hired on the big stages. And that's what we all want, right? That's what you want. I know it. And so Cheryl Knowlton, go check her out. She's funny, she's inspiring, she's empowering, a great coach as well. Then there's Jody Orgel Brown. Jody had a brain tumor. When they went in and did surgery on her, she had paralysis on her face. This beautiful woman stands on stage and she's so fascinating to the audience because they're looking at her and saying, gosh, if she can stand up there and teach me about how to live my best life with all the challenges she's been through, what can I do? Jody is so smart, so talented, such a great storyteller. In fact, she won our local storytelling competition. She's that good. She didn't start as a motivational speaker. She started as a professional in a different industry and has turned into a motivational speaker. So these are just examples of people you may not have heard of because everyone always looks up Ed Milet or Gary Vee or Tony Robbins, these people that everyone knows. I want to give you some practical people to check out who are lesser known but are making it, and they're incredible. So go check out Cheryl Knowlton and Jody Orgel Brown. Let's talk about the journey to motivational speaking. First of all, define your niche. And as we talked about earlier, you know, everybody has their expertise, whatever business you're in. You can talk about that. That's a great thing. And you can drill really deep within that industry, and that's a great thing. So if you're already in real estate, or maybe you're in marketing, maybe you're in filmmaking, drill down into that and speak about it well. You become known as the expert, and then you're known as a motivational speaker that can be hired for those types of events. That then turns into your branding. So you just want to be careful if you do want to get on huge stages where you could speak to any industry. You want to really be good at your expertise, but also want to create a keynote and a message and a brand that everybody goes, oh, she could come and speak at our event for any audience, for any of our people, because she talks about things across the board that relate to everybody. So that's something to think about. But it shouldn't slow you down from drilling down and being really good at your niche. Another thing to consider is to practice your speaking skills. How and where can you do that? Well, there's plenty of opportunities out there. If you've ever thought about how do I get a gig, what can I do? There are so many charity organizations out there that would love to have a speaker and they don't know that you're available. So let people know that you're willing to come and speak. One of the best things you can do is network with your friends, your peers, your professional associates. And these people will say, oh, I didn't know you were speaking. That's so cool. And the next thing you know, you're being asked to come and present. Now you could just start, if you're in the workplace right now, you could say, hey, on Monday morning at our next meeting, can I give a little presentation? I just want to share something that I've been working on. Maybe the leadership will let you do that because they trust you to share something with the entire team. Those are great places to start. And then you can start to network with other speakers. I would recommend highly that you check out Toastmasters. There are Toastmasters clubs all throughout the United States. They're all over the place. And what's cool about Toastmasters, it's worldwide actually. What's cool about Toastmasters is that you can show up at any point and you can present and work on your speech and they actually give you feedback. That's a really cool thing. It's a very inexpensive thing to do as well. Then there's the National Speakers Association. I've been a member of the NSA for over 20 years. There's the national version and then there's the local chapter that you also can probably find if you look it up in your home state. So the National Speakers Association is where other speakers come to learn about how to be motivational speakers, coaches, authors. It's a great place. I recommend you do that type of networking with people who are working towards the same goals as you. Here are just a few other great reasons as to why you should become a motivational speaker. A lot of people go into it thinking, I'm going to get rich and famous. Well, that could happen and that would be really neat, right? So financial stability is a possibility, but it doesn't happen for everybody. A lot of the motivational speakers that I know, they make a good living and they are very grateful for that. But a lot of the reason that you want to go into this is probably better to consider serving others, to give of your experience, to share that which you know and that you're great at, and helping others to discover their own gifts and talents. And so those are some of the reasons why people go into this. It also might just be because that's a great dream that you have. Whether you want to be a writer and then go speak about that, or you're working on some type of creation and project and you want to just present it well. There are opportunities to do this all over the place, and that's what's so fun about saying to yourself, what are my reasons for doing this? So drill down on your mindset, your reason for going for it, and then you'll be that much closer. So let me give you a really powerful takeaway that I'm excited to give you because I've been working on this for so long and working with so many speakers that have been interested in making a living as a motivational speaker. And so, you know, I've made this channel, which I appreciate you watching this video. Go check out more of the videos because there's other offerings there that you can watch and go, wow, that was helpful. But I made something very specific for you because you need to figure out your signature moves. If you don't know what your brand is and what you offer as a speaker, people won't hire you. They'll hire somebody that has a stronger brand presence. And so what are your signature moves? What do you offer as a speaker? Why would they hire you? So I came up with the ICM process. And if you go to jasonhewlett.com/ICM, yeah, it's very simple, ICM. ICM stands for Identify, Clarify, Magnify. If you take this assessment, you'll see for yourself that you have unique gifts, traits, and talents. And when you go through this, that'll help you to become the greatest motivational speaker that you can. And so I'm excited that you're going to go check that out. Thank you for joining me here. And hey, I'm excited to see you, the next great motivational speaker.